everyone, welcome back to the channel. In the previous vlog you saw that we officially started our new trip. We packed our bags and drove to the airport. We parked our car at Park and Jet and took a shuttle bus to the airport. My husband checked our bags in and we kept a smaller stroller with us as hand carry. We flew to Toronto where we had a layover for 11 hours and we decided to stay at Marriott Courtyard to rest before our flight. When we came back to the airport for our flight, we were faced with a huge crowd. Kids were crying, there was no line, no proper system. At this point we were so stressed, are we even gonna get on this flight? But alhamdulillah, after a long wait, we finally were able to board our next flight. It was a very stressful experience, especially since both of our kids were crying nonstop due to, being sleepy and wanting to sleep. At first, there was no system at all for families with small children to board first, but somehow we managed to get a chance to board. I believe it was just because the kids were crying and extremely frustrated. Zoe couldn't calm down in the baby carrier or the stroller, so I just held her like this in my arms. As soon as we boarded, I wanted to get the kids' diapers changed and get them ready to sleep because they were so exhausted. Due to the rush and chaos before boarding, I couldn't do it before we got on the flight, but we quickly got the kids ready before more people started boarding and the washrooms got crowded. The kids were fresh then and they were, getting ready to settle into their seats. Xavier got busy on his tablet and Zoe was just chilling with Baba. Seats this time were to the back and the seats were quite cramped. We also didn't have an empty seat beside us, so I was quite worried how we would manage with the kids. I was just waiting for them to dim the lights so the kids could finally sleep. Once we took off, the kids instantly fell asleep because the lights were dimmed and the noise of the plane was loud, so that all helped. Alhamdulillah. For the flight, I actually bought this kids airplane bed from Amazon for the kids to sleep on. So I bought 2 of these, and you basically wrap one end around the tray in front of your seat and one end around the kids' seat. That way it becomes like an extended flat seat, which makes it easier for the kids to straighten their legs and sleep. We had 3 tight seats. We laid the kids vertically across the seats and adjusted with just one of these airplane beds, and alhamdulillah, it worked amazingly.
Welcome to Dubai. The local time here is 8:47 p.m. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened.
After a long 13-hour flight, we finally reached Dubai. Alhamdulillah. The kids slept for majority of the flight and we definitely needed that rest. The flight experience itself wasn't the best because the seats were super tight. The flight was late. Even though we had requested halal food, they never provided it to us. And for like other regular passengers, all of their meat dishes finished early and people had to just eat vegetarian meals. So overall, the flight was not that great. But we were so happy to be in Dubai. But you guys, this is still not our final destination. Can you guys guess where we are going? Actually had a layover of about 4.5 hours in Dubai, and so we checked our next flight, which was on time, thankfully. Since we were tired and didn't really have proper food on our flight, we decided that we'll head over to the lounge called Marhaba here in Dubai airport. We had to go through connections and security first, but before that we wanted to go to the washroom and just freshen up a little bit, as well as change the kids' clothes to something heat friendly. Of course, it's Dubai. It was humid and hot, so the kids, they got all flustered as soon as we got off the plane. Once they were, they washed their faces and they ran around a little bit, they were super energized and fresh. After we cleared security, we continued on our way to the lounge. So all around Dubai airport, they have these umbrella strollers and they're so useful with like young kids, and we did use them on our last trip when I showed you guys all of these strollers. Thankfully, we have our small portable stroller this time, and we had this as a hand carry with us on the flight, so we just had this the whole time as soon as we got off the plane. So yeah, alhamdulillah for that. I highly recommend, if you're traveling with kids, to have a hand carry small portable stroller like this one. So we headed over to level 3 and followed the signs to go to Marhaba Lounge. My husband has actually been to this lounge before and he really liked it, but I haven't been there, so I wanted to try it out. It was actually quite quiet at the airport. There wasn't a lot of crowd or rush around. Maybe it was because it was super early in the morning, I'm not sure. But basically the whole way when we we were walking through Dubai airport, I was just so happy that I'm finally in the Middle East, because the best thing about being in the Middle East is that everything is halal. You don't have to worry about the food being halal or, any of that stuff. And that's a big headache over here in the West, because you have to double check everything that you're eating to make sure that it's halal. And plus, I just love how clean and organized Dubai airport is. It just feels like, you're in like a very sparkly, shiny, big mall. Like you look at all these stores and these lights and you just feel like you're not at an airport, you're at a mall. I love going to like the duty-free stores and just going to check like the different chocolates and souvenirs that are available in the store. I just like to roam around and look at the packaging and stuff. They have really nice gift boxes that you can buy for family and friends, but definitely on the more expensive side, of course. Saw my favorite chocolates and I definitely had to just check it out and see how much they were selling for it. Oh my god, it was quite expensive actually. Like I love Ferrero Rocher, and over here it was very expensive. But yeah, we continued onwards to Marhaba Lounge, and it wasn't that far. It wasn't that much of a walk. Anyone is wondering how to get access to these type of lounges in airports, so you can either pay for it up front or have credit cards that cover it. You would have to look at like the specific details in your credit card with your bank and have it covered that way. That's just a little bit of information. So once we entered into the lounge, the entrance of the lounge actually has an elevator where we went up to the 4th floor. As soon as we entered in, the staff was very kind and helpful. They showed so much love to the kids, mashallah. The lounge entrance was pretty and elegant. The lounge itself, it looked very spacious and nice. And of course, the kids, they found something to play with right away. They were amused by the sound that these chains were making here, and they were giggling about it together. Mashallah, it was the cutest thing to watch. But yeah, let me show you guys a little bit around the lounge. Mashallah, they had plenty of food options to choose from, ranging from Chinese-style chicken, fried spring rolls, vegetable curry, white rice, a range of different types of sandwiches and salads. I got the baby chair for Zoe, and both the kids liked the sandwiches a lot. To the side of our table, there were more dishes. So here they had two types of mandi. One was this one, and then it had steamed vegetables on the side, as well as some pasta. And then the other chicken mandi, it actually came fresh from the kitchen. And you guys, when she brought the dish, it smelled absolutely divine, mashallah. And of course, I had to have some mandi and hummus, which is my absolute favorite in the Middle East. I think this was the best meal that I had all day long, especially after the experience with Air Canada. This was the best meal of the day, and it tasted amazing, mashallah. So then it was time for dessert. So for desserts, they did have dates as well as Arabian coffee. They had different types of dessert cups, custard cups, mousses, all these different types of cakes. I actually got these things for myself. The cake was a little bit on the dry side, but it tasted really nice, and the mousse itself, it was really delicious. I love this one, and I have a sweet tooth anyways. I love anything sweet. And I got a latte for myself. The Arabian coffee was a little bit bitter for me, so I decided to go for the latte as usual. My husband really liked the dates and the Arabian coffee. He always gets this whenever he comes to Dubai, and I just find it a little bit bitter for my taste. But then after we had dinner and dessert, we went to the washroom to freshen up, and I changed into fresh clothes. I'm sure by now you guys have an idea of where we're going. Alhamdulillah, our overall experience at Marhaba Lounge was amazing. We absolutely loved the food, the quality, the variety that they offered, as well as the kind and helpful staff. Now it was finally time to head to our final flight where we go to our final destination. So I am super excited to share with you guys where we are going, inshallah. I know in the past my travel vlogs have been very helpful to many of you guys, as I see from your comments, and inshallah I'm hoping you guys will find my coming vlogs beneficial as well. There is our gate and it's time to get ready for the last flight. So for that, I will meet you guys in my next vlog. Take care of yourselves and Allah Hafiz.